and gentlemen, how are we doing this evening? Welcome back to the Young Fan Podcast, and breathe, because Oxford United have won in League One against Wigan Athletic from behind this season. A very, very, very difficult game, a scrappy game at times, but a game that we needed to win, a game that we really, really needed to get the 3 points in, and we did just that. We got the points, we sorted the game out. Now, it wasn't a game that I think will probably ever be, I recreated ever like it just did. Really, it was an absolutely crazy game. We had 15 minutes. Well, obviously, a normal half time's 15 minutes. We had much longer than that, as of course the stadium had a fire in it, so the floodlights then turned off, so the game then obviously couldn't continue. We had the fire brigade come along. It was a crazy afternoon of football and off the football activities as well, with the fire brigade turning up and sorting out the issue that happened at half time. Of course, this game was meant to happen on a Saturday. It's now a Sunday as well, so we're doing a Sunday podcast live as well, which is unbelievable as well. It's meant to be finishing about 6 o'clock. It's now finishing at about 6:30. So it's unbelievable what has just happened. But taking that all away, what a game of football we've just watched. Not perfect, not brilliant, but so important. That's the moral of the story. A really, really important game of football. I'm just going to make sure the audio is okay for you before I quickly get into it. But I think it should be okay. I think it is okay, but yeah, that performance was pretty, not pretty. That's the best way to put it. It's Valentine's Day today, but it wasn't a pretty performance, and it wasn't one I think we're going to go and, we're going to look back on and go, that was an incredible performance. But it is a game we're going to look back on and go, that was a really, really important 3 points. We've got some people in the chat right now. Please give your thoughts on this game. What a game, and what an important game it was as well. Of course, so many things happening, this afternoon and this weekend really with Oxford United. Is it going to happen? It's going to get postponed. 24 hours delay. Then obviously another delay in the middle of the game because of incidents, at the actual stadium. It was all, a whole ball of confusion at one point. But we've come out of this with all of this confusion. But we've come out of this with the 3 points, and we've come out of this with a much needed win and a much needed. Much needed 3 points, which is the most important thing. Please do give your thoughts in the live chat as well. Please do get in the live chat. I'll be reading all of your thoughts out, and I can't wait to get in there and discuss it with you people as well. Please do leave a like on the stream as well. I want to hear your thoughts. We can discuss them, and subscribe if you're new as well. Of course. I have yesterday dropped a new episode of the podcast where I look at every team as well. So if you're not an Oxford United fan, maybe you're a Wigan fan coming into the match reaction this evening, definitely do check out that episode of the podcast. Or maybe you're on the podcast and you haven't checked that video out, please do go and check it out. It's a really, really decent one in my opinion. Without blowing my own trumpet, I liked creating it, I liked making it and stuff, and it was really, really enjoyable. So hopefully you enjoy it as well. But no, a fantastic game of football. I think we play better when Kelly isn't on. That's the first comment of the day. Straight in there with a really, really interesting question and a really, really, really interesting point from Paul Groves. It's an interesting, wasn't it? Well, you can see the screen this side. I'm going to get it right first time tonight. You can see the situation that we're in with that starting lineup. We made a few changes. Some of them we were forced to make. Some of them we didn't have we didn't really have too much of a say in. Long came off injured against Bristol, so that was a change we had to make. Henry as well clearly wasn't fully fit. That was something that we had to make. So Kelly came back into the team, and as Paul says there, it was a very, very. You've come out and said, in your opinion, I don't think we play as well, and I do think we play better without him. Is what you've said. And to be honest with you, I don't want to come across, we've got the win, but I think at the same time, I think you've got an interesting point there that should definitely be discussed, because that midfield didn't feel as free. It didn't feel, as connected, and so much of a unit. For so much of the game. And if you're going to win a game of football, you need that midfield to work. You need that midfield to click. You need that midfield to really start working. And I guess you're not going to win a football match without a midfield that's mobile, with the freedom, with that defensive part of it, but then also the creativity in it as well. And at times, I do understand what you mean there about without Liam with Liam Kelly is what does Liam Kelly offer? Is he that player that's going to help you defensively? In my opinion, I don't think he is. I think we've seen him play there in the season, and he wasn't, he didn't really stand out. You understand how important Gorin is to this Oxford United team, and again, I thought Gorin had a really, really good game today. You look at, when you look at how good Gorin was today, for example. You look at Brannigan as well. He's very, very box to box, but he can also create a lot of things as well, which I love about Cameron Brannigan. I love having him back in the team. You've got obviously, and you've got Kelly starting in there as well. So what does Kelly really offer? What does Kelly come into this team, and what does he really offer in that midfield? To me, I think what he does do is he presses a lot. He presses high up the pitch. If you notice when when we were a little bit deeper, Kelly is the player that is pushing up and really putting pressure on the Wigan defence, for example, this evening or this afternoon. He was really good at that. We've got 6 people in the chat right now. Please do leave a like and give your thoughts on the game. I'll be reading out every single comment that you put in the live chat. Like I'm doing with Paul Groves' comment right now. I want to hear from you in the live chat. We've got a few people right now, so please do give your thoughts right now in the live chat. I want to hear all of your thoughts. Please do get them in the chat. Whether you watched the game, maybe you didn't watch the game, but just give your thoughts on the game, or ask some questions as well about how the game went and different things on the game. I'll be happy to answer those different questions as well as always. But a really difficult game for Oxford United, and one that we had to grind. We speak about grinding out results. We speak about looking back on important wins, and I think this is going to be one we look back on. It's a crazy afternoon. It's been a crazy weekend, but we look back on grinding it. We look back on grinding out a result. And today we did just that, okay? We went from 1-0 down. I don't think, and I want to get this right, I don't think we've got any points. I don't think we've got 3 points. I don't think we come back and win when we've gone 1-0 down or we've been in a losing position first so far this season. So that's positive. That's really positive that we've done that today. Matthew Wilson says, thought Barker and Sykes were quality in the second half, and I think you're 100% correct there as well. Barker is, he's lightning, okay? He's a spark, and we've spoken so much about finding that spark. And in the first half of the season, I thought when we were struggling, we didn't have that spark. We didn't have that player that you can go, he's going to create something, there's no doubt about that, or he's a moments player. And I think Barker's a real moments player. Not that that's to say he's inconsistent, but I think he's a player that when he gets the ball, he does everything he possibly can when he gets that ball to make something happen. And Barker did that. Barker did that to perfection today, I thought. And Sykes as well. He came in, he had a real opportunity. It was a big game for Mark Sykes today. I think he took it. I think he took that opportunity really well. And I was really happy with Mark Sykes. When that team news came out, I was a little bit confused. I understand, obviously, we had to make two changes. We were forced into making 2 changes. But we weren't forced into making that Sykes decision. And we weren't forced into putting Winnow in there instead of Matty Taylor either. Obviously, we may be thinking of the Tuesday semi-final as well. But we weren't forced into making those decisions. And we weren't forced into making those changes to the starting lineup. But we did make them. And we're going to have to look back and, be a little bit... we might question it. We may question it, but I think we won't question it now. But I think if we hadn't won the game, I think we may have questioned it. And thankfully we didn't. Thankfully Sykes, who came in, had a really good impact on the game. I thought was really good. I do love Sykes. I really like Sykes. I'm a real not favourite. Sykes doesn't know me. The other way around. I'm a real supporter of Sykes. I was very upset. I was quite sad. When the whole thing between Carl Robinson and Sykes happened, because I think Sykes can really offer something. And I think for him to obviously, when in the transfer window, we said no to an inquiry. Someone was interested in him. He is out of contract end of the season. I want him to sign the contract. I want him to stay at Oxford United because I think he's a player that's really valuable to this Oxford United team. He creates things. He should have actually, that strike as well, an incredible save from the Wigan goalkeeper. He could have been, if that had gone in, that would have been one of the goals of the season, if not the goal of the season. Maybe even better as Henry's against Rochdale. But a really good performance from Mark Sykes. And like I said, it was a big game for him. It was a really big game for him. He needed to take an opportunity. He needed to, really... he really needed to take the opportunity today, and I think he did that, which is really good. Please do give your thoughts on the game as well. I'd be interested to see what you people think. Hopefully the stream is holding up okay. Something's just said there that the stream's lagging slightly. If that is the case, please do give your thoughts. Please do let me know in the chat. Is everything okay? Is everything okay? I think it might be okay. I'm going to make sure now. I think it is okay. So yeah, something just came up on the screen saying we had a few connection issues, but I think we're okay. Is everything okay? Is it lagging for you? Is it buffering for you? Please do give your thoughts. Anyway, Sykes looked good and Moore just seems to be getting better and better. Elliot Moore's goal today was very, very important. Very, very important. It was a really, really good goal from the captain. He was just stronger than them, really. He was stronger than them. He got there, and I was really, really impressed with it. Really, really impressed with Elliot Moore today. I thought defensively we were solid. Defensively we were very, very, very good. And we got the goal that was much needed, and it was a very, very important one. So yeah, really, really happy with that. Charlie says stream's fine to me. That's fine then. I don't know what came up. Something came up on my streaming thing here and said that there could be a few lagging issues for your viewers. This is something I don't obviously want. But if it's okay to you people, then that's all that matters, and we'll continue as we were. But no, Sykes was very, very good today, and Winnell got a goal, and I think Moore was really, really good, as the Paul says there as well. Charlie OUFC says hello. He says Barker put a good shift in today. He did. He put in a really, really good shift. He was very, very, very good, Brandon Barker today. I loved how Elliot just banged, just barged through, I think, 3 Wigan defenders and smashed it past the goalkeeper. Yeah, and that is what we need. We need a player that's just going to go and do anything he can. Sorry I'm late. What have I missed, says Matthew? You haven't, don't worry about being late, my friend. Don't worry about being late. All we've really been speaking about is how good Oxford United, I was going to say how good Oxford United were, but we weren't that good. We were, I guess, resilient. I think that's the best way of putting it. We were resilient in the way that we performed. We went out there to win. Now, a few things on Wigan as well. I want to discuss Wigan. Wigan are in a really interesting situation, in the league table, off the pitch and on the pitch. I thought Wigan did quite well today. I don't think Wigan are a team that, we've seen much worse teams play against Oxford United this season. We really have. And we've lost to some of them. But Wigan aren't a bad side at all. They really, really came here to play football, which I think is really, really good. So I was really, really impressed and really, really happy, with the way that we responded to Wigan at times, because they're a really, really good side. So I'm glad that we did quite well against them today, because like I said, they're not a bad team. They're a really, really, really good side. And I was really, really, really happy with the way that we responded against them. Charlie says we were very, very patient today. We were very, very patient. We had to be patient though. We had to be patient with the attack. We couldn't rush into things. We couldn't try these Hollywood passes. It was a little bit frustrating when we did that. But thankfully, we didn't do it as much as as we sort of developed into the game. I thought when we got the equaliser, we stopped doing them a little bit. We stopped doing these Hollywood passes after we sort of realised that they weren't really working. And then we sort of changed the approach. We played a little bit more patient. We played a little bit less direct. And we reaped the rewards for it. We got the points that we really, really needed. And like I said, and like I keep saying, I was really, really happy with the performance of Oxford United in the second half. Not in the first half. I think it was one of the worst games of football in the first half. But I think in the second half, it was a really, really much improved performance. Even though we conceded and went 1-0 down, to show the quality and to show the resilience to come back, I think is really, really important. Matthew says the guy you picked out as their best player scored. Yes, Tom Pearce, I believe it was, wasn't it, that scored in that video I did yesterday. If you haven't watched that episode of the podcast, I did the best player from every single team in League One of the first half of the season. I loved making it, I loved doing it, and it's come across, thankfully, like a really, really good podcast episode, and I really, really enjoyed making it, and hopefully the people that have watched it have enjoyed it as well. But I did pick out their left back, their full back, and he scored for Wigan today. So hope as much as it's frustrating that they scored, at least it proves that my research for that podcast episode at least was quite accurate. So there you go, and definitely check that video out and check that video podcast out if you haven't already, because I really, really enjoyed making that. Charlie says also with the setbacks and postponements, it shows that we can do as a club what we can do as a club together. 100%, mate. Lots of setbacks this afternoon and this weekend, really. Meant to be paid on Saturday. We're now doing a Sunday night podcast stream. It's pretty bizarre. It's pretty crazy. But at the end of the day, it had to be done, and I'm so glad that we did it, that we got the win. Because that's all that matters, really, isn't it? That we can come out of this weekend and go, what a crazy Oxford United weekend it was. But we did what we needed to do, and we won the game. So that's what it means. That's why it's important, and I'm really, really glad about that, because look where we are in the league table. If you go and look at the league table, I should have had it prepared, but there you go. On the screen, I should have had it prepared, but we're in a really, really good position. We're 1 point outside the playoffs and we're only 6 points away from automatic promotion. You look where we were at the start of last season. If this was a game, if we went 1-0 down at the start of the season against this Wigan side, like we did today, earlier in the season, there is not a chance on earth we're going to get anything from that game. But today, we showed resilience, we showed power, we came as a team together, and we were so much better. We were very, very compact, we were patient, like people in the chat said, I think it was Charlie that said it. We're really, really compact, and we really got something from the game, and that's what I loved about the result today. Performance, like I said, I'm not going to keep going on and say the performance was incredible. It wasn't incredible. It wasn't an outstanding performance, but what it was is an important 3 points, and some individual performances today were very, very important and got us the 3 points in the end. Matthew says, oh no, I thought you picked out Callum Young, my bad. Did he not? Was it not Tom Pearce then, mate? Was it not Tom Pearce? Maybe I didn't pick out that player then. Maybe I didn't. No, I picked out Tom Pearce in the episode of the podcast, mate. I did pick out Tom Pearce in the episode of the podcast. To be honest with you, mate, when that goal went in, I didn't know the goal scorer. I didn't know the goal scorer for today for Wigan, to be honest with you, because I was just so frustrated that we conceded it, and actually quite confused how we conceded it, to be honest, because we started the second half, as much as it was a crazy half time of about half an hour. We started the second half really, really well. We came out and we did a really, really good job. We looked like we were controlling the game. And then it all went wrong. Then we conceded, and I was like, no, this can't happen. Wigan are a decent side, but they can't be beating us. We've got to just get our heads into gear, and we've got to start sorting it out. Charlie says, only a point off the playoffs, 2 games in hand, 9 games unbeaten at home. What more could you want? Well, when you put it like that, we're in a fantastic position and we're doing very, very well. Matthew says, my bad, mate. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry. I definitely should have known the name of the goal scorer for Wigan today. But to be honest with you, I couldn't really, as horrible as it sounds, it doesn't sound horrible at all, really. I couldn't care less who scored for Wigan, to be honest. I just care that, we scored 2, they only scored 1, and we got the 3 points, and they didn't. Matthew says, just glad we got the 3 points, exactly, mate, just like I said. But yeah, going back to Charlie's point about where we are in the league table and the position that we're in, you're spot on. Who got man of the match then? So, Mark Sykes got man of the match. Fair enough. I think, we've been saying in the chat today, we've been saying it in the podcast stream, Mark Sykes had a really, really good game, and I think he did. I think he did have a really, really good game today. I thought if we go through the team, I thought Jack Stevens didn't have too much to do in goal. At left back, Josh Ruffles, he was okay. He wasn't great, but he was, solid. The 2 centre-backs, Moore got on the score sheet, thought Moore was good as well. Give your man of the match in the chat right now. We've got a few people in there right now. Please do give your man of the match in the stream today as well. I want to hear from you, the people, and of course, like as well. I want to hear your man of the match as always, and we'll be talking about that in the stream as well. Who is your man of the match this evening? It's difficult for me. They've given it Mark Sykes officially on the Oxford United's website and the Oxford United media. However, I wouldn't go. I don't think he was outstanding. I don't think he, when I look at the whole team, he was a player that goes, yeah, Mark Sykes was better than everyone else. To be honest with you, I don't think he was. I thought Goran had a really, really good game. I thought, Sykes had a good game. I thought Moore had a really, really solid game. I thought Atkinson made up for, Matt Atkinson at one point. That tackle at the penalty box, that was an incredibly timed tackle. One that, it goes wrong, you get him probably sent off. Because you probably, he was last man. Probably going to get sent off and definitely giving away a penalty, obviously. So that was a really important challenge. So some really, really, really good performances there. We've got a lot of people coming in their man of the matches. Charlie says Sykes and Goran had a huge chances today, both close to flying in. Yes, Sykes had a great game, and Goran really, really on as well. Matthew, Barker or Sykes, my man of the match. Barker as well, yeah, how did I forget about Barker? I thought Barker was fantastic today. That cross into the box, that Winnall header as well, was a really, really good cross. Again, a player that we've already said about Brandon Barker, a player that can just do that almost effortlessly, really. He can do that. He can put that ball into the box, create us a chance, and it's a moment, isn't it? It's a moment in the game. When we talk about fine margins, if that doesn't go in, we come away with a point. We're sitting in the match reaction today on the podcast, and we're moaning and grumpy that we haven't got more than 3 points. Now, would I have taken a point when we were 1-0 down? Yes, maybe, but it was really, really important today that we come out of this and go, we got 3 points. Now, when we went 1-0 down, I'd given you, I'd snap your hand off for a point, obviously. But when you go 1-0, then you continue to dominate the game. It was really, really important that we went on to win the game. And yeah, Brandon Barker had a really, really good game as well. We've got a few people joining the chat as well. Give your man of the match if you watch the game. If not, ask a few questions. We'll discuss about it. Give your different topics you want to speak about. We can talk about it as well. Now we move on to the semis on Tuesday, hoping to reach the final, 100%, mate. If you people want a match reaction for that, now obviously I know I haven't done any coverage really on the podcast. I haven't done any coverage on the podcast for the Papa Johns. However, we are in the semi-final, and I understand it's quite a exciting time. We have a chance to go into the final. I'm excited for it now. I'm not going to lie. If you want a match reaction for that, we probably won't go live on the Tuesday night, or if it's going to be Wednesday, because there's a chance it could be moved. I think it is going to stay on Tuesday. If it stays on Tuesday, I will go live on Wednesday night if you want, and we can discuss about that as well. But that's up to you people, because I wasn't planning on doing it, but I think, we're in the semi-final. Why not celebrate in the stream? But if you do want to do that, Lincoln 1, Accrington 1 as well. Good for Oxford. Yeah, we need that to be a draw ideally, mate. I know Accrington were 1-0 up, but thank you for letting us know of that Lincoln equaliser. Paul Grove says definitely Mark Sykes. Matthew says I think Elliot Moore for a shout. Yeah, 100%. I thought Elliot Moore was fantastic. I said today. Atkinson made an incredible tackle. Yeah, like I said, could have been a couple different game if that was in a goal. Yeah, that was a big chance for them, but a huge recovery challenge from Atkinson. That's what I mean. A really, really good challenge from Rob Atkinson. Matthew Wilson says definitely Sykes. Hopefully he can build on this performance. Yeah, we need him to, but he needs minutes if he's going to build on that performance. That's the important thing. I don't think he's probably going to play on Tuesday now. I think Taylor's probably going to start. That's the thing as well. Paul Grove says Gorin brilliant for me as well. Yeah, Paul, he was absolutely fantastic. I thought Alex Gorin, he's so important for this Oxford United team. We've spoken about it so much. We've spoken about it on the podcast for so long. How important how important Alex Gorin is to this team. The way he sits in front of that defence. The turns as well today he was making. The ball's coming to his feet. He was turning it like no one was there. There was people there. He was turning out of trouble. The skills, the footwork for a defensive midfielder. I think he was incredible today. So a really, really good performance for Gorin. But one that I think a lot of people sometimes are a bit surprised about how Gorin is good, in these games. But we know he's good because week in, week out, we saw at the start of the season when he was injured, we couldn't do it. Our defence was like a poppadom. We get blown over, we get smacked over. It was a poppadom against a bowling ball at the start of the season. Now, when we've got a player in front of there, we've upgraded the poppadom to, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something that's stronger than poppadom, most things. You put Gorin in front of there to sort of help the team out and, sort of shelter the team, not shelter, I guess protect the team with defence in particular. You put Gorin in front of them, that defensive midfield role, is so important. And I think he's really, really important to this team. And if we are going to have a really good success, and we are going to be successful going forward, and we are going to get into the playoffs, which is something we all want to do, it's so important that Gorin's about and so important that Gorin finds form. But he's just so consistent as well. He's so consistent, should I say, Gorin. Really, really important that we keep him firing. And he's out of contract into the season as well, so give him a contract. We need a Ruffles contract, we need a Sykes contract, and we need a Ruffles contract. And there's a Stevens contract as well. So many players in that starting 11 today, and not in the squad, but in particular in that starting 11, that are out of contract into the season. So many people that are out of contract into the season. Get the deal done. Get the contract signed. That needs to be the priority. Because there's so many important players in that team that that could be leaving us. It's so important. Briefly finishing on Gorin. He's so important to this team. So important. Gorin was brilliant for me as well. Matthew says, do you think we missed Sam Long? I don't know, mate. I don't know really. Because I think Ford did a good job there today. I thought, I was a little bit worried about Ford. I don't think he's a fullback. I think he's a better player when he's playing in that midfield, when he's creating things. His passing range is really, really good. Good from set pieces, but I mean, he can do that when he's at right back. But I think going forward as well, he's really, really good. But no, I think Sykes Sykes. I thought Anthony Ford did a good job at right back today. So do we miss Sam Long? Be interested what you people think. I don't think we necessarily miss Sam Long. I feel more comfortable with Sam Long, but it wasn't like today Anthony Ford cost us the game. It wasn't like Anthony Ford had a shocking game. I thought Anthony Ford was very, very good. I thought he did a professional job at right back. He came in, did a shift, and that's all we can ask for a player that isn't naturally a right back, but came in and did a good job. So no, happy with Anthony Ford. I thought Sam Long, yeah, he did okay. I thought Anthony Ford came in for Sam Long and did okay, and did well. I thought. Matthew says the signs of Barker and Lee may prove to be very, very important because of Henry's injury. 100%, mate. I think you're spot on there. We look at the injuries we're getting. We were okay with injuries in the first half of the season. I don't think we were before January, we didn't have too many injuries. Of course, we had Sykes didn't get injured. It was McGuane that got injured recently and still is out. Gorin, of course, got the injury. If you can name any more injuries, that'd be great. Atkinson was injured quite a few bit. Ruffles was injured. So to be fair, no, we did have quite a few injuries. But yeah, those attacking areas, attacking midfield areas, and sort of the more offensive players. No, we didn't have as many injuries. So yeah, I think Lee and Barker are really, really important, and I think they're going to be important if we're going to have a successful season. But we've got to keep working. We've got to keep working because the games we've got coming up next are tough. I mean, if you know they are, Ipswich away on Saturday, then Portsmouth at home on the following Tuesday, which is the semi-final coming up this Tuesday. But a really, really, really difficult few games. And we've got to be at our best. And today, I thought we weren't at our best, but we did the job. You know, we did the job in some difficult circumstances with some difficult setbacks. We did the job, and I think that's all we can ask, really. We did what we needed to do, and we did that. So yeah, really, really happy with Oxford United today. The performance was good. The way that we dealt with the game was good as well. We've got a few people in the chat as well. Please do give your thoughts of the game as well. If you've just joined us, please do leave a like as well. We've got 9 likes. If you haven't left a like and you haven't subscribed as well, if you're new, please do consider subscribing. That would be much appreciated. With Oxford United taking all 3 points in a crazy weekend to sort of get us out of a place, 1-0 down, where I thought this could be a pretty horrific result, because 1-0 away is not a good... 1-0 away, 1-0 down, when we know we've got a track record this season of not doing very, very well when we go 1-0 down or going down in a game. But today we did that. Today we sorted ourselves out, and I thought we were good. I thought we were really, really good in the end, and we dealt with it quite well, and I was happy with the performance, like I said. People, do give your thoughts as well, of course. Do leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new as well. And if you haven't also checked out the latest episode of the podcast, the one before this, which was a pre-recorded one, talking about every team in League One best player, please do check that video out and that podcast episode out. Give it a like as well. Please do, because it was really, really fun to make, and it was a really, really interesting podcast episode, and one that, I learned a lot about every single team in that podcast, and hopefully you can as well. So please do consider giving it a watch, giving it a listen or whatever, on the podcast, because it's the last one. Every team's best player in the first half of the season. Please do give that a watch. That would be good. I really would appreciate it. So yeah, a really, really good win for Oxford today. One that needed to happen, and a league table that's looking very, very healthy. Really, isn't it? It's looking really, really healthy now. We're only 1 point away. In fact, we're only 2 points away, 6 points away from automatic, and we're only 1 point away from the playoffs. So we're in a really, really good position now, aren't we? We're in a really, really good place, and I'm very, very happy with it. So please do give your thoughts on where we are, where we are in the league table, because I mean, we're doing well. We are really, really doing well, and I'm really, really happy with it. So do give your thoughts as always as well, because we're in a place now where I think as a team, I think as a club and as a squad, we can just we can look up now, and we can pretty much achieve what we want to achieve. We could come out of this season with a trophy as well, which is remarkable to think about. If we win the Papa John's as well, we're coming away from this with a trophy. We've got some very, very difficult games coming up. If we win those games, where could we be? You think about this game against Ipswich coming up. Ipswich in the league table are below us. They're not having as good of a season I think a lot of Ipswich fans would have wanted. If we beat them and we then beat Portsmouth, and I said, out of these next 3 games from Wigan, Ipswich, Portsmouth, I think 7 points is probably fair. If we can win 2 of them and then we get a point or something from another one, 7 points in the next 9 games, I think. So next 9, 7 points from a possible 9 out of the next 3 games, I think is really, really doable, and I think can be really, really good. So it's really important that we stick by it and we keep doing that. Matthew says every game from now on is a cup final. You're spot on, mate. We've got a cup semi-final on Tuesday, and then we could be in a cup final. But I know what you mean. Every game has importance. Every game has a lot of importance now. I wasn't too worried about the Papa John during the season, but I now think this little cup run that we're on, that could send us to Wembley, that could put us in a position to win a trophy, is a really, really good thing for us, because it means that we've got full concentration needed in the cup, but also we've got this thing going on in the background where we could come out of this season, dare I say it, with a trophy, and whatever happens in the league. I'm not going to say the P word, and not the P word you're thinking about, maybe you know what I mean, a really, really, really successful season. If we can come away with that, I think, looking at the start, I think, where were we? Where were we at the start of the season? I know we can't look back, and I know a lot of people moan at me, and I moan at a lot of people for looking back on different things, but where could we have been if we had been much better in the first half of the season? If we'd been really, really... I'm trying to think of the word. If we put in some better performance, if we played with a bit more confidence, if we played with a bit more freedom in that first half, and we've basically been better. Where could we be? Where could we be? But saying that, the second half of the season's been brilliant, and we've done so well. We're on a great run. We came from 1-0 down. We showed the confidence, we showed the resilience to come back and win the game today. And I was so happy with it. We've just hit 10 likes as well. Thank you very much to everyone who's liked this episode of the podcast. If you're new as well, please do subscribe and check out the episode of the podcast that I did, the last one, which was looking at every single club in League One, whether you're an Oxford fan, whether you are. Please don't go check that out, and do leave that as like as well, because it was a really exciting one to make. Hopefully you enjoy it as much as I did making it. So yeah, a really good performance for Oxford today. Some tough games coming up, a cup semi-final on Tuesday, but a good one. Anyway, we've been live for just over half an hour on this Sunday evening. Sounds so strange, but it's true. Sunday evening as well. Last few things, get it in the chat right now. I'll discuss it for sort of the last few minutes. We'll probably finish at, probably 35, 36 minutes in. Do give your thoughts as well. I've sort of given as much as my thoughts as I possibly can. Please do give your thoughts as well for the last few minutes, and we'll discuss it for the last few minutes of the podcast episode. If you're watching this as a video as well, please do leave a like. Please do leave a like if you're watching this as a video, and subscribe if you're new as well. Comment as well down below. Obviously, this is a live chat I'm going off right now, but if you want to go and comment down below in the comment section, I'll be replying to one of those as well. And like I said, if you haven't checked out the recent podcast episode, please do give it a watch, because it was decent to make, and really intriguing to sort of find out different things about all these different clubs. But anyway, a really good performance for Oxford today. A really good podcast episode, one that hopefully you enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed it as well. And the weekend's done. The weekend's finished. Well, I mean, it's not. We've got a few more hours of it. But the football weekend has been complete. And we've come out of it with 3 points, one place out of the playoffs. Happy days, people. I'll see you on Wednesday, potentially. Probably see you on Wednesday for a game. Match reaction as well. Henry Mintpress says, I think Ahmed could make a big difference for you in CDM, mate. The thing is, Henry, and welcome to the podcast, mate. Welcome to the live stream this evening. I actually fancy sticking Ahmed and Gorin in that midfield. I think it can do a job. I think Ahmed, Gorin in that midfield can do a job. Anyway, we're going off with a tangent there. If we had Gorin injured, I probably would rather have Ahmed and CDM. But anyway, there we go. Before it goes completely off the rails, we'll wrap this episode of the podcast up. Thank you everybody that's got involved. Please do leave a like as well. Subscribe if you're new. I've been Jack. This has been the Young Fan Podcast. Have a good rest of your evening. Had a good Sunday night as well. It's probably been a very different Sunday night for you watching the football. But anyway,